Hi everyone. I have a whole bunch of butterflies in my stomach right now, and I think that's because it's really important, and I want to share something really important that I'm passionate about with you. And so what I need to do, and what I've been told to do, is to take these butterflies and I'm going to put them in formation. Okay, so come along the ride with me as I introduce you to some concepts, ideas, passions, and different moments in my life that are a part of what I do in the environment, and as well what I do with the people who care about these things just as much, or even sometimes even more than I do. So I'm going to start off with a quote, and it goes like this. There was an old owl who lived in an oak. The more he saw, the less he spoke. The less he spoke, the more he heard. Why can't we all be like that wise old bird? Okay, did anybody get a little bit uncomfortable when I stopped talking? Wondered, why is she not talking? This is strange. Maybe questioned yourself or the conversation we're having, maybe. And so I think it's important that we give ourselves some time to be in silence and to think for ourselves. And the easiest place for me to do this is outside. And I find that my best ideas come through silence. And so here I have my inspiration, my life, my everything. These are my children. This is Patience, who's 4, and Hope, who's 2. And they're always outside. That is a part of who they are. It is going to be always a part of who they are and who they become. And we avoid trying to be inside at all costs. And I think that as they grow, they will actually feel like this is from the inside out. And so this tree behind them, do they know that that's an eastern white cedar? If they ask me, maybe they would know. But I have to bring them out there in order for them to question it, in order for them to realize, hey, maybe this is important. Maybe this is something that we all need to talk about, discover on their own time, and I'll always be there to support them and answer any question that I know, okay? But for kids, it's not just about question and answer. My gosh, when I was in school, if a teacher sat there and talked to me the whole time, I would lose interest. It wouldn't matter if it was the most exciting thing to that person. If they were talking to me like this and it was on monotone, not very interesting at all, okay? Especially if you're a little child. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask that you interact with me for a little bit. About 3 minutes of your time. Just get a little uncomfortable, okay? It's all right. It's okay. And so I hope that you will, and if not, then I'll do it by myself, no problem, okay? All right, no pressure, it's all right. Okay, so this song you might have heard before. If you're a parent or an uncle or aunt or grandparent or sister, brother, okay, you might have heard this song before, especially if you like camping or you've been to Girl Guides or Scouts or anything like that. All right, so I'm just gonna put this, can I put this down? Or actually, I'll put it in my pocket. There we go, perfect. All right, roll up my sleeves. Okay, ready? There was a great big moose. Who liked to drink a lot of juice. There was a great big moose who liked to drink a lot of juice. Singing way-oh, way-oh. Way-oh, 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 way-oh. Way-oh, way-oh. Way-oh, 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 way-oh. The moose's name was Fred. He liked to drink his juice in bed. The moose's name was Fred. He liked to drink his juice in bed. Singing way-oh, way-oh. Way-oh, 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 way-oh. Way-oh, way-oh. Way-oh, 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 way-oh. He drank his juice with care. But he spilt it everywhere. He drank his juice with care. But he spilt it everywhere. One more time, singing way-oh, way-oh. Way-oh, 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 way-oh. Way-oh, way-oh. Way-oh, 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 way-oh. Thanks so much for doing that with me. That was fun. That was lots of fun. So, with children, you know, it doesn't really so much matter what the content is. If they're having fun with it, they're going to get something out of it, okay? And the content of this, though, we're talking about a moose. And maybe some children have never even heard of a moose. Maybe they don't know what a moose looks like. Maybe they're not lucky enough to have Algonquin Park as their back door, as their, you know, a place where they can go and see one. So hey, let's introduce the moose to the children and get them to ask us questions. And then help answer them for them. Make it real. Make it something that comes from within themselves. And then they'll maybe appreciate the moose. Maybe they'll appreciate where the moose lives and the environment it needs to survive and to grow and thrive with its offspring. So it opens up doors for questions, for ideas, for conversation, okay? And we also have an ability to help guide our children and people who are even older in a particular direction if we feel that it's important and we feel that it matters, okay? And some kids, you know, they may be a little bit older, like this guy here. He's 11, 12. He might think that singing that moose song is really not something he's interested in doing, especially around his friends. He's like, yeah, right. I'm not singing that moose song in front of my friends with you. Okay, that's fine. So let's adapt our interest to the age group. Okay, so I work at Shaw Woods Outdoor Education Center. Okay, it's a not-for-profit organization, and it is made up of very dedicated, highly, deeply emotional, intelligent, driven people who care a lot about the same thing I do, about protecting the environment that we have, the place where we live, and making sure our children have the same desire and passion to do that as they grow. So this boy here, he came on a school trip, so we get kids from all around the county to come, as long as their teacher and parents want them to, or guardians, to come to us for a day, all right? And then what we do is we relate the curriculum, what they're supposed to learn in school. And I should let you know I am a teacher, so I went to school to do this type of thing. I understand what type of expectations they need to have when they're in school. And we adapt our program, we modify it to meet those needs of the teachers and the parents, guardians, and students. And so here is a shelter building survival skills program that we have. And so this boy, this actually was our very first program. And so all of the material you see here, they went and they got it on their own. So they took ownership for their experience. They were building a structure, which is what they're learning in school anyway, and they're having fun. They're enjoying it. This boy, it was really hard to get him to go home. Like, he just wanted to stay there and maybe see if he could survive the night. Maybe, you never know. He might get a little wet if it rains, but that's okay. It's also the time of year. This was taken in the fall. And so we've got fall leaves and things on the ground, but maybe you have to adapt to your surroundings as well. And so he learns that, right? That based on the time of year, based on the seasons, things are going to change. And so I mentioned briefly before about these people who make up this organization, this community that I found myself living in. I started out as a volunteer with the organization, and the reason why I continued on, not only for my passion for the outdoors and for the environment for children, but was because of the people who I work with, and of course the place that we work in. And it's because of them that this organization will be successful. There are so many of these people who care so much about this old growth forest, and about the red pine plantation, and about the Snake River, and the Doria Escarpment, and the Shaw Pond, all of these places that the names may mean nothing to you, but the place itself means so much to the people who go there. And we want to protect it. We want to allow children and their children's children, I know it might sound cliche, but we want it to continue on. And we want to know how to adapt to the changes that are coming, because as we know, the only constant is change. And so I came into this organization as a little eaglet, and this was taken this year, this picture. And I still feel like that. I still feel like a little eaglet who's still learning. And the eagles who are there, the people who are retired teachers, horticulturalists, botanists, retired engineers, birding experts, forestry people who, you know, come in and want to help teach people to sustain the forest properly through proper management. They come in here and they're just surrounding me. And they are allowing me to spread my wings, really, truly, they are. And it's a very welcoming environment, and the children feel that way when they come to visit us. And it's all about protecting each other and taking care of the land and each other as well. And so these are eagles that are actually on the property, so we're really fortunate to have them want to look after us as well. And so here's just some pictures of some interactions that have occurred throughout the time that our organization has been around, or since I've been there, so about 2 years now for me. People who are coming out to do preparations for a high school group that wants to learn about forestry management, and people who are looking at macroinvertebrates. Maybe some kids have no idea that little bugs live in the water. Maybe they have no idea. And if they do know, maybe that will open up new ideas for them. Maybe answer some more questions that they have. Are they interested in it, or are they grossed out? Who knows? At least they have had the opportunity to experience it and to apply their understanding of who they are as a person in the world that surrounds them. There's people who come out and they're not a part of the school program per se, but they are coming out because they're a special interest group and they want to bring other people along, and they think it's great to go on a hike, and there's no structure at all. There's no organization in that sense. There's just, let's go out and talk and be in nature and slow down for a minute and just take a step back, question what's going on, and do I have a place here, right? Okay, and even families are completely welcome to come. So it's open, like the people who create the trails at this place, it's open to families, and so you make it a part of your everyday life. And as one of the speakers had mentioned earlier, once you're out in it longer, it becomes a part of you. Right? So it's like a grassroots approach. We're starting from the grassroots and we're building on that. So with these children who come here, which is my primary focus because I'm the education coordinator, although I'm interested when other groups come in as well, but primarily what I focus on is when the kids come, because we're trying to build their character, their sense of pride, their growth and development, their independence from themselves even sometimes. They want to feel like they're separated from maybe their everyday, ordinary life where they're picked on, bullied, made fun of because they don't have proper nutrition, which they can't help. And so we want to allow them to have a place that they feel maybe a sense of freedom as well. And so as a teacher, I know what it's like to be a student and to be a teacher in the classroom where you're surrounded by your walls and you have really nice windows, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's so many wonderful things that come from being inside the classroom. Wonderful things. And I think it's great to want to connect with that and to connect with the teachers who are inside that classroom, teaching our children and allowing us to come together and making it a part of the children's everyday lives. Teachers can come and ask us, yeah, we want to come in the fall, winter, and springtime. So they can come 3 times a year if they want and make it a part of what the kids know when they go to school. That's their everyday life. When do they come to the Shaw Woods? It's a part of their everyday life because it's a school trip. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's a part of what they do. It's their routine. And there was one teacher who said to me, she said, you know what? There's these 2 kids here who were hanging out all day together today, and they never, ever talk at school. And I said to myself, that wasn't even something that we were trying to achieve. That's amazing. That's really, really great. There's something here. And so again, getting the kids and letting the teachers and parents and everyone know that there is structure, there's organization here that we're doing. We do have a plan, but we're putting it into an environment and surroundings that allow it to feel open and gives the kids some time to maybe just go off on their own for a minute and think outside. For them to reach potential and for them to aim above what they would ever possibly think they were capable of, going to heights they've never seen before in their own mind. And so this is a picture. The green there is of the typical weather patterns, but the blue, like the diffused blue circles there, are large groupings of migratory birds in the beginning of April. And so I wanted to put this on here just to give a sense of a broader perspective and how we all are interconnected, whether we go somewhere at a certain time of year and then decide to come back because it's nicer weather and it suits us better, the food is plentiful. Okay? We're all interconnected. These kids who come to see us, I may see them once and never again. Or I may see them a few times, they may come back, but we'll always share that common experience and those memories. They'll never go away. And so we hope to allow children and people, families, whoever wants to embrace this sense of being, this sense of life, to look at it through a simple lens, to see the beauty in nature as it is, and to take the time to appreciate it, to let children realize that they can nourish their own bodies too. They can grow their own food. These are things that are important and good for them. And to take the time to maybe even sit for, who cares how long, really? To sit for as long as you want, as long as it makes sense to you, and to get to know the intimate details of the natural beauty that is in front of us. Okay? And this is something the children do on their own, at lunch break or whenever, or if they want to just take some time and say, hey, Miss M, can I just take a few minutes to just do this while everybody else is playing a game? Perfect. Go for it. Okay? To see the growth and change that happens and to really embrace it. So I invite you all to, for a moment in your life, whenever it feels best, to be still. And this comes from a storybook from one of my daughters, but it's a storybook about this little bird who is trying to find its purpose in life. And it keeps getting told by all of these different animals along its journey to be still. And this little bird is confused. What? Be still? What are you talking about? I can't hang upside down like a bat. I can't collect acorns like a squirrel. I don't know what they're talking about. I don't get it. But then he finally realizes to look into its reflection and to just be still. And to have that opportunity to think, slow down, embrace who it is for what it is, and be. And so there's this Greek proverb from a man who is very important in my life, who said that a society grows when people plant trees whose shade they know they shall never sit in. Thank you.